Hi, Sally Walker here, your hormone expert, and welcome to my hormone blog. I've got a question from Pamela, which I'd like to answer today. And Pamela is asking, can I test for hormone imbalance? Well, the short answer is, Pamela, is absolutely yes, you can. It's all dependent upon which hormone you'd like to get tested, but let's have a little look at that. And I'm pretty sure there's going to be lots of others that will be interested in the answer, even some of you men maybe. Okay, so can I test for hormone imbalance? Yes, you can. How do you do it? So before I answer, just to let you know, I do have a couple of articles on my website, sally-walker.com, where I actually have addressed this issue because this is a very important subject to actually cover. So there's more details there, but let's just give you a little bit of a short overview here. So testing hormones, yes. So how do we do it for best? Well, initially when I work with my clients, I always like them to answer an extensive questionnaire. Questionnaire which will be talking about their symptoms, because every hormone imbalance will create symptoms. So symptoms are basically telling us which hormone's out of balance. So that's a good place to start. Blood testing is a good thing to do for some of the hormones. Now, the hormones which test best through the blood are the hormones made of protein. So this is your thyroid hormones, so your T4 and your T3, the hormones coming from the brain, so the TSH, the thyroid stimulating hormone, the follicle stimulating hormone, FSH, the luteinizing hormone, LH, so those two going to your ovaries and testicles, to promote the production of the hormones down there, which are going to create an egg, create sperm, etc. So these are all well tested in the blood, as is insulin. So insulin is a protein type hormone. Insulin is our sugar hormone. And then there's human growth hormone. So human growth hormone, very important hormone all through life, but particularly in the younger years, because this is the one that's going to make you, big and strong, can also be measured in the blood. So all of these hormones, your doctor in general will help you with these. You can do these privately, but if there is enough symptoms to suggest that some of these hormones might be out of balance, the doctor will be very willing to test them for you. You can also, through the blood, test the hormones called estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone. But these hormones are not made of proteins. These are made of fat. They're made of cholesterol. So they actually are best tested through urine. But they can be tested in the blood. So you can get an indication of the level of these hormones through blood, but you will get much more detail through urine. Now, the urine testing is not typically something which your doctor will offer you. So that will be a private testing that will need to be done there. So the stress hormone cortisol is also a fatty hormone, and is also best tested in urine. It can also be tested in blood, like the others there. And if your doctor is suspicious that you might have too much or too little cortisol, they will do a blood testing, and they may ask you to do a 24-hour collection of urine as well to see what the level is in urine, because it is better tested. You get a much more detailed picture when you do it in urine. But there are private tests that you can do this very conveniently, and you can read up all about this on my in my article on my blog on my website, sally-walker.com. So the last way of testing is saliva. There are some people that believe this is a good thing to do, and it absolutely is. Personally, if you're going to do private testing, I prefer urine because you do get much more detail. But saliva testing for the fat-soluble hormones, so the fatty hormones, so the estrogen, progesterones, testosterones, cortisol, these hormones, saliva can be very good as well. But it's also a private test. So many ways of getting an indication of which hormones are out of balance. That means you're producing too much of one, not enough of another one, or too little of another one, etc. All these testing can be a good way to do the things. But as I said, start with the questionnaire, start with the symptoms, because symptoms, that's where you're going to tell your doctor You're going to say, oh, I just feel tired all the time. Oh, I'm freezing all the time. Oh, I put on weight. I feel depressed. So those 4 symptoms could give an indication that there might be something going on with the thyroid. So the doctor would then say, okay, let's have a little look at the thyroid hormones and send you for a blood test. So symptoms are always the good indication, but then it's a case of, well, which test should I do? So remember, pop into my webpage, sally-walker.com. You'll get the answers to all this and many other things. And please, if you have a topic you'd like me to address, so please send me an email, sw@sally-walker.com, and I'll take it on one of my future blogs. If your question is a little bit personal or you'd like a little bit more personal information, I do have the 30-minute telephone conversation for €40. So very affordable for most people, and you'll get much more personal detail that way. And maybe, I will say, oh, I recommend you doing that test, or I recommend you doing this test, etc., etc. Well, I hope, Pamela, you've got the answers that you need, and I hope everybody else has enjoyed this little session today. And I will see you next time. And until then, happy hormones, happy life.